So today we are going to start with a very important topic, that's voluntary simplicity. How do we start with this? The term itself says that the word simplicity and voluntary. You are supposed to lead your life with simplicity, as we have much discussed about how should we lead with our life with this sustainable development. So very importantly, with some examples, we'll be discussing about it, that how voluntary simplicity is a kind of lifestyle choice that minimizes the needless consumption of material goods and the pursuit of wealth for its own sake. That you have to minimize your needless consumption. Whatever is essential for you, that you have to focus is, and this should be in terms of voluntary. Nobody should push you, nobody should motivate you to do so. This should be your own initiative and voluntary steps that you have to adopt this simple life. So basically it talks about kind of a form of sustainable consumption which involves a conscious decision of yours, so that you can use fewer natural resources. You can also learn how basic voluntary simplicity lifestyle can meet your needs and desires, and you can reduce damage to the environment. Only essential things you should take from the nature, and you can reduce your needs and desire which are not that essential, that you cannot live without it. So what happens basically that people, you understand and you might have observed that people living in United States or other developed countries, they love to buy and consume. Some would say that it's even part of our lifestyle, or what makes us who we are. Let's understand with an example. So this person is Timmy. Timmy wakes up at 6 a.m. in the morning and he takes a nice hot shower in his temperature controlled suburban home. This is his home. After going through his normal morning routine, he gets into his SUV car, right, and heads towards the office, which is a 30 minutes commute in a heavy traffic. The office distance is 30 minutes commute in a heavy traffic. Along the way, Timmy pulls a fast food restaurant for a conventionally packaged breakfast, biscuit, and a cup of tea to go. At the office, what does Timmy do? Timmy boots up his computer and print out a 30-page report to get ready for his meeting with the boss. So it sounds pretty typical, isn't it? The same scene, or one very simple, is played out all across America or world or developed country, maybe India as well. That we just take our car, transport system, whatever we are using, because of 13 kilometer of distance or 10 minutes of distance, we just take our car, go out, and whatever the things that are comfortable, we are comfortable with, we choose that. We take a lot of printouts just because we are comfortable with that, and that solves somewhere our purpose, and we feel more and that thing is more soothing for us. And most of us would not think that Timmy is leading a high consumption or energy intensive lifestyle, that it's quite normal lifestyle anybody could lead. But if we really evaluate Timmy habits, we see that by the early morning, Timmy has, what he has done, he has already consumed a lot of products and services. What did he do? He used electricity to take a hot shower, which was of course not that required, using electricity just to take shower, heat his home and boot up his computer. He also burned fossil fuels in his SUV, threw away his biscuit wrapper and coffee cup, and used paper to print his report. In that initial 1 hour or 2.5 hours, he has already consumed so many things which maybe that not much important that he should have adopted. So what here we are talking about, that we have made our life so luxurious and so comfortable for us, that for every small thing we are so much dependent on the resources. We cannot do away with certain things which we should. So we can do what we can do, we can adopt the simplicity. So it's basically something that refers to a simple living, the simple life, or downshifting, that you are here where you are using resources and you can just reduce it to 50% and you can downshift your using of resources. So people can embrace voluntary simplicity. They can create less complicated and more meaningful lives for themselves and their families, and to reduce the negative impact that unnecessary consumption can have on the environment. Of course, only unnecessary consumption has the adverse effect on the environment. So by reducing unnecessary consumption, voluntary simplicity can have environmental benefits. So this is what voluntary simplicity talks about, that we can reduce our unnecessary consumption, we can go towards a simple life, and that should be our volunteer approach. This also promotes rejection of consumerism. That means whatever is not required, you just see that sales are available in the market, in the malls, and you just run because of that sales attraction. So your consumerism behavior is also responsible, that you do unnecessary shopping, and that arises from realizing that Western style are consuming, so we also have to do so. So somewhere we are degrading the planet and degrading the nature. Ways of high consumption are also unethical, that if it is not required, still we are doing, then of course it's unethical. And this is a world of great human need, where we should of course avoid the unnecessary consumption. And also that the meaning of life should not consist in the consumption or accumulation of just material things. The meaning of life should be how you are taking care of your own mental well-being and physical well-being. It should not be just that you have a lot of materialistic things and you are so happy, you are so comfortable, and you are leading very hi-fi and very luxurious life, and you are well settled. So here we are going to discuss about the simplicity, and a lot of it, with this example, I think this is understood to you that what exactly simplicity is all about. And moreover, it should not be just simplicity, it should be voluntary simplicity. Another example we can take, that when an individual accepts a lot of responsibility, like you have responsibility in your home as a brother, as a son, as a student, and a lot of, maybe someone has nephew. So if you have a lot of responsibility, how do you simplify? Like you need to prioritize things, that which responsibility you can fulfill at which particular time. Most of the time what happens, you take a lot of responsibility and you complex your life. You are unable to simplify, or you are unable to uncomplex it, and then you are stuck somewhere and you are unable to fulfill your responsibility in any of the area. So simplicity exactly assists you in creating clear goals, that you should have clear goals, you are focusing on your actions, and you are getting more done. You are not taking too much responsibility, and you are not over promising things, that I'll be doing this, and you are unable to do any of the responsibility. So certain factors which help in eliminating the stress produced by some undefined goal or purpose, it may provide some peace and tranquility in your life, that you are eliminating those factors which are not important in your life, or which can be done by someone else. Like you designate some work to someone else, and you are simplifying your process, and your life is not that complicated. So what exactly we can talk about is certain values that are characterized with voluntary simplicity, like appreciation of interconnection and interdependence of all the Earth's inhabitants and system, that we have discussed in the previous session as well, that we have to appreciate the interconnection which is there with the nature and human being. There should be mindfulness and spirituality. Mindfulness means that at one particular time, you are focused on that particular work only. You are not right now, if you are attending the session, maybe your mind is full with other responsibility, with other thoughts. So that's not, of course, the simplicity, and that's, you are complicating your life or mind itself. If you're doing meditation, if you're not focusing on meditation itself, that's your complication in your mind. So this is a kind of practice or exercise that you need to follow, that at one time you're focusing on one particular area, and this is what mindfulness talks about. So there's a difference of double L and L here. You can see that it's only L. So when we are talking about mind, FULNESS, that means that we are focusing on one area, and when it is FULLNES, that means our mind is full with lot of different ideas. So that's again the complication that you create in your life. Practitioners of voluntary simplicity values a consciously mindful and appreciative approach to living. So those who are expert practitioners, they just focus on one area. If you're working on one project, you're focused on that. And meanwhile, if your WhatsApp pings you, you're not looking at the WhatsApp, because it will take around 5 or 10 minutes of yours, and you're just not mindfully working your thing. So that's again complicating the things for you only. Next, I would like to talk about that there are few simple ways to live an abundant life through self-simplicity, like simplifying your wardrobe. If you have unnecessary or not that essential clothes which is filled in your wardrobe, that creates a lot of confusion for you only, that what should I wear and what should I not. So simplify your wardrobe. This is very, I've received these factors at a very renowned source. Eliminate digital distractions. A lot of apps you have already downloaded for one particular purpose. You might be having 3 apps. So you need to just simplify things, and you need to choose that which digital app or digital technology that you require and which one not, because we have a lot of options available, but we have to choose the best one. Focus on your art, not your job. So how exactly do you do your job? That's important. What is your job? Not important, but what's the process that you follow? That's important, because if you're following the right structured process, that will definitely give you some purpose and way of doing that job. Learn to say no to things. Don't say every time yes. You have to first analyze what is coming to you, which work is coming to you. You should understand whether I have to accept that work or not, or I can say simply no, I won't be able to do this. This is not my area. This is not my area of interest, or this is not my area of expertise. So I would not be able to do this. So if you learn to say no, that means again you are simplifying your life only. Embrace the certain areas that maybe you are happy to do that particular thing, and embrace certain things that you would like to increase your expertise. So again, you are leading your life to those areas where you think that your life would be a bit simple. So these are the things which I wanted to discuss with you all, exactly about the voluntary simplicity. So simplicity, simply not to complicate your human life, because we have discussed about the things in sustainable development perspective. So not only just from the sustainable development perspective, it's from the human development perspective also. Whatever you have, how you are very optimally utilizing it, not overusing it, and with very limitations, you are taking more productivity out of that. You are using limited natural resources which are available with you, and you are leading a simple life, not just copying others life, that if he is using this, I should also. Of course, I'm not telling you to not try things. You can try, but don't start involving everything into your routine life, because of course that would be a complicated life for you. So voluntary simplicity leading to sustainable development, along with the human development and personal development as well. So this was all about voluntary simplicity. And because a lot of insights I received from today's session also, that is spiritual leader Pandit Pulkit Maharaj ji, I heard him, and he also talked about that we have to do a lot of very limited